Okay, ladies and gents. Well, I'm kind of disappointed. Today was supposed to be a really good day. I got my YouTube payment, and so, I got up at 4:30 in the morning, which is when I usually get up anyway, but got up about 4:30 and got dressed, got ready to go, got all my stuff together, had my mind set on laying some blocks today, and I was on my way to Lowe's to buy bags of mortar, and I walked out my front door and felt a couple little sprinkles and looked up and saw that. So I went back inside and looked up the weather forecast, which I will put into the video here. Pretty much for the next 3 days it's scattered storms, and then 2 days of nice, and then some more storms, so it's probably going to be another week before I can start laying blocks. I understand if you guys are frustrated. Trust me, I'm frustrated too. I never would have imagined that at the end of July I would be rained out, I don't know. It's, hopefully we'll have a nice fall, and the temperatures stay above freezing, well into November, hopefully. But probably won't. It'll probably turn freezing about mid-August or some nonsense. But, so instead I went and bought 3 bags of Quikrete, and I was going to buy the high strength structural, Quikrete instead of just the normal Quikrete for people use for like stairs and things like that. But I was reading the package, and the package on the high strength industrial stuff, and it's almost double the price per bag. The package said that it hardens to a hardness level of 5,000 psi. That sounded kind of strange to me, because my footer down underneath these blocks is only 3,000 psi concrete. So I thought maybe that might be a little unnecessary, so I just went and I read the bag on the regular, just everyday $3 a bag, Quikrete, and it hardens to 3,000 psi, the same as my footer concrete from Ready Mix. So I don't see why the regular Quikrete won't work, but I bought 3 bags because I want to see how many bags it takes to fill these cores. Now these blocks right here are 4 courses tall, and I'm not going to fill every single core. So I'll fill like this core, and I'll put a J-bolt in there. I'll just leave that rebar sticking up like that. And then once the concrete's hard, or when I get ready to, put my sills down, I can just cut that off flush with an angle grinder. But anyways, so I'll go ahead and fill. Or, well, I don't know, it might take more than 3 bags. I wouldn't think so. I'll just see how much it takes to fill 4 block cores with concrete. That way I know about how much I'm looking at. Because I'm going to fill, here. And then these rebar are about 6 feet apart. Across the back there, they're 8 feet apart. But I'm just going to use, 8 foot, 2x8s, a full 2-inch by 8-inch rough cut 2x8, and just 8 feet long. So I'll end up with a J-bolt here, and then one about the middle of the board at the 4-foot mark. So I'll fill one of those cores, and then also where the board ends, a couple inches from the end, I'll have a J-bolt. So wherever all those end up, is where I'll fill the cores. And plus, even if it doesn't, you know, land on one of the rebar cores, I'll fill every one of the cores with rebar. Plus, you know, any other spot where it might fall in the middle or end of a board. So, but I'm not going to fill every single core, you know. That would be too expensive. So and that's perfectly acceptable to do. Lots of people do that, so. And then before we put our sills down, we'll roll out some fiberglass insulation and then put our sills down. They make this foam stuff that's for that also, but you know, for 30 years or something like that, people have used, you know, fiberglass insulation with no craft backing, you know, just 8-inch strips of, you know, about 1.5 or 2-inch thick fiberglass insulation, and then, you know, it kind of smashes down when you bolt the sills down. Or I might get some of the actual foam that's for that. I mean, I don't know. I just figured the fiberglass insulation rolled out would be a little easier, but guess we'll see. Whatever's the cheapest route is most likely what I'm always going to choose, so, to a certain extent. But, so no laying concrete blocks today, but what I can do is, I'm just in the concrete mixing mood, so I'm just gonna put some concrete in, you know, see how much it takes to fill a core, and then, oh man, I think I might have left my trowel at home. Oh man, that kind of sucks. I think just with this we'll be able to get by, but I'm going to have to remember to throw that back in my toolbox. Anyway, so we'll go ahead and mix up some concrete and pour, you know, that core for sure, and then if we have some left, we'll dump some in that core and keep going until our 3 bags are full. Hopefully one core doesn't take 3 bags. I was going to buy a wheelbarrow to mix the concrete in, but one of these durable plastic tubs was only $5 at Lowe's. And I've got wheels, so, you know, I don't see why that can't work. Because the cheapest piece of crap wheelbarrow that they had was like $42 after tax or something like that. So to me that's ridiculous. I could get one of those big, you know, deep contractor wheelbarrows at a yard sale for $20. So I just have to come across one. I've seen them before and I wish I'd have bought them, but I didn't, so here we are. But this is easier than the wheelbarrow anyway. Less work on my part. Alright, so I hope I've got the camera set where y'all can see pretty good. Looky here. I know it'll be instant to you guys, you lucky dogs, but I had to go all the way back home because not only did I forget my trowel, but I also forgot the J-bolts. So I couldn't do without them. So I had to go back into town and just to get my J-bolts. Should have sprayed this thing down with a little bit of oil or WD-40 or something before letting it sit for a long time, but I think that'll be alright. Alright, I drug this hose over here, but I have not turned it on in probably 2 months since the last time I watered the garden, so it feels like there's water still in there. Yeah. Cool. So there's our water. And this is really awesome to be able to have this water here too. Back when I was laying the blocks before, I I didn't have this water set up like this. I just didn't think to do it. And so I was bringing out like milk jugs of water to mix my mortar with. But this is going to be a lot better. Now I'm going to mix this pretty thick because there are kind of holes in between the courses, and I don't want the concrete to spill over into the next course. I want it to stay in the one single course area. Alright, now to make this easier on me, I am going to remove this one panel. And that'll make it easier for me to get to everything. This little cart thing's pretty versatile. It's pretty neat, so. Alright. Since it's just a little bit, I'll just mix it by hand with the trowel. Roar! Alrighty. Now a lot of people wear gloves doing this because they don't like how the concrete dries your skin out, but it really doesn't bother me, so I just like getting in there and getting dirty with it, kinda. Alright. Now I'm going to do just a little bit at a time because I don't have really a way to measure the water, so I'm sure it'll take a lot more than that, but I've been looking around on Craigslist and stuff for electric cement mixers, but they're all just a little out of my price range. I thought maybe I could find a small one for, you know, 75 bucks or something like that, but they want, you know, 120 and 140 and stuff like that for them, and you know, you can get brand new ones from Harbor Freight. I mean, obviously it's not real good quality, but you can get brand new ones from Harbor Freight for like 140, so whoa, we got a little bit of pressure on there. Go, pond water, go. Now, just for those who might be new subscribers or haven't seen the other videos, this hose is running directly up the hill to a pond about 100 feet away. So, well, about 140 feet away, actually. So, this water is totally, you know, that's about as off-grid as you can get. Just gravity flow from the pond. Alright, I think we're getting pretty close here. Alright, I'm thinking that right there is going to do it. I'm thinking that'll ride just fine. Go ahead and leave that side off and we'll run down here and fill this core up. Hopefully. Might take more than one bag, who knows. This right here, just to illustrate what I was talking about each core is not necessarily sealed off from the next. You know, there's little gaps in there, and I don't really want the concrete too soupy. It might, you know, might fall down in the cracks and go into the next core. So hopefully we've got it stiff enough. I'm gonna have to cut me a little bucket. Got me an old bar and chain oil bucket. Hopefully the leftover oil that's in there won't hurt anything in the concrete. I don't imagine why it would, but I guess you never know. We used to make feed buckets like this all the time. Just like that. Oh, there's quite a little bit of... Guess I should have dumped that in my new bucket, but... or my new container, but oh well, I guess. Okay, we got about a little over halfway, so I guess one bag will probably do it. Alright, now, I guess I shouldn't have stuck my hands in it just yet, but... Okay, well, I couldn't find any rebar. I forgot I used it all in the fencing of the garden, so I guess this will be alright. Just since it fell and plopped down in there, I don't guess it's probably too loose in there. Maybe a little more. Maybe take just a a little bit out of that middle. If it sits just a little bit below the level, that's okay. That's a lot better than a little bit above. Alright, now take a J-bolt. Okay, we'll want it sticking out, I'd say at least about like that. So, I'd say a hand width. That's easy. Alright, so we'll just stick that down in there. Looks good. Like I said, I'll just cut that rebar off once I go to lay the sills in. Well, now it seems like, I guess I vibrated it a little bit, pounding that bolt in. That's a little above the level there. You don't have to worry about getting these bolts exactly straight, you know, square or anything like that. If they're off a little bit, when you're done, just put a pipe over them, you can bend them. So it's not a big deal at all. Alright, so that's below the level everywhere. So, alright, so it took a little less than one bag, so that's pretty good. I'll just leave a washer with that one right there. I don't imagine the wind will blow that off. Please don't fall down the core. Alright, now, roar. Okay, right about in here. Ooh, close one. Well, I guess the sun decided to, try to come out just a little bit, warm us up. Not that I really needed to be warmed up, but I guess. Alright, let's go mix another bag. Alrighty, well, first I guess I'll wet down the sides and everything of this bucket. That way we don't get a bunch of dried concrete on here. I think I got me a kink from pulling the hose. Well, it's still a little bit weak, but I think I've got it wedged up against the fence post down there or something, but that's enough pressure for what we're doing anyway. I just want to wet these sides down real good so it doesn't dry too much on just the side. Okay. There, we got our pressure back, I think. If we can keep it all in the bucket, we'll be ahead. I kind of like this little tub. I was using one of those like blue like tote things with a lid last year, and the sides on it were just too tall, and the bottom of it wasn't really shaped very well for mixing concrete in, obviously. This right here is real good. I like this. And for $5, I don't think you can go wrong. They're pretty thick plastic too, not too bad. I don't know why, but I mean, I have a hoe and a trowel right here and everything, but I just seem to prefer to just dig my hand right down in there and mix it up. I feel like I can mix it a lot better by hand than, because I can get right down in the corners and scoop all that dry stuff out and turn it over, and I can run it through my fingers if I want to. Alright, we're good now. This water is so cold that I really want to take a drink of it, but I mean, it is pond water, so I have to just remember to not do that. It doesn't really smell like a pond. It smells more like creek water, but could just be because of all the rain we've had, I guess. Alrighty, go fill another one. Kind of being careful with this one because it's one of the narrower ones. Because you're doing half block at a time overlaps, you'll have like one totally open one, like a pretty clear one, then one obstructed, open, obstructed. Whoa! Now I'm not doing it this time because I'm trying to use this as a measurement of how many bags it takes for how many cores. But eventually, after this time, I'll go around and collect all the broken pieces of block, and you know, the pieces from the blocks that I've had to cut and things like that, and bust them up into smaller pieces, about 3 inches by 3 inches or 2 inches by 3 inches, and put some concrete down in the core, and then drop 1 or 2 of them block pieces down, put some more in, drop a few more. It gets rid of the concrete scraps, and also it doesn't really hurt the strength of the core concrete at all. I mean, it just takes up a little bit of room and makes your concrete go a little further. You just don't want to load too many into one little spot. Alright, now, I don't want to go too far out with it just yet, because it is supposed to rain here a little bit over the whole next pretty much 4 days or so. So pretty much I need to stay within an area where I can throw a tarp over it. Alright, now I'll have to fill this core right here, right next to this one, because this sill plate is going to go that way and come out to the edge. The next one will butt up against it and start here. So I need me a J-bolt right in the end of that sill plate. So I'll go ahead and fill that one. Alright. Well, I guess we'll go mix the last bag. Alrighty, last bag. Now, I guess these tubs are meant to be kind of a throwaway type deal, but I mean, since they were only it was only $5, but it's pretty heavy. You know, I don't see why I would just leave concrete in it and throw it around and bust it up. I mean, you know, I'll make it last just as long as I can, which I need to go ahead and clean my trowel off probably. And yes, I know I'm just going to dig it right back in there, but if you don't keep them cleaned off like that once in a while, that concrete will kind of harden on there and build up, and then you'll have to go and with a hammer and break it all off, or a scraper. How long does it take just to spray some water on it and rub your hand over it, keep it clean? Not very. I just want to say, always when I'm doing stuff like this, I'm not necessarily telling people or showing how to do stuff. You know, it's not a how-to video. I'm just showing you what I'm doing, you know. If you want to do it the way I'm doing, go for it. You know, if you don't want to, do it a different way. I don't care. Because they say when you're mixing the bags of concrete like this, you should be wearing a respirator and all kinds of nonsense. But I got nothing against you if you're not a wussy or anything. You know, if you want to do all that stuff. I just wasn't raised like that. You know, we always cut wood in, you know, jeans and no shirts on, and, you know, mix concrete just like this or in a wheelbarrow. You know, we didn't have, I don't know what to say about it. It's just not realistic. Okay, you know what, you go to Oregon somewhere with people that are really into logging and stuff like that, they probably wear all that junk, chaps and hard hats and all that stuff. I bet you'd be hard pressed to find just 10 individuals in the entire state of Missouri that own more than 100 acres that wear that stuff. I guarantee you wouldn't find it. Same goes for Arkansas, Tennessee, you know, all over the place. People that have done this kind of stuff their whole lives just don't, it's just not realistic. So with that being said, you know, take a risk when you want to, or be safe and wear all that stuff. I'm not going to make fun of you, and anybody that does is an idiot. So, even though I don't take the time to wear all that crap, because I feel like it inhibits movement, and you can't move as fast as what you could without it, but I'm certainly not going to put anybody down for doing it. That's just nonsense. I've got nothing to prove, you know. All those guys that call other guys wussies and stuff like that, you know. I can understand calling somebody a wuss if you know, if somebody's like beating their girlfriend and they just stand there and watch and don't do anything about it. Or, you know, is a 95-pound nerd that just, you know, doesn't do anything outside, you know, is allergic to the sunlight or something like that, you know. I can understand something like that a little more than just a guy wanting to extend his life a little bit with safety gear. Even though I'm not, like I said, even though I don't wear it, I'm certainly not going to condemn anybody else for wearing it. So you guys do as you please, and so will I, and we'll meet in the middle somewhere. That's another way I test how, if the concrete's done or not, is I'll just kind of smooth it out and then just pat it. If you can get quite a bit of water to come to the top like that, it's good. All right, let's go throw this stuff in. Alrighty. That might be a little tall. Oh, Lordy. Oh, man. Ugh. No, that'll be just fine. Good Lord. Whew. That's heavy. Alright, well, looks like we can probably fill another one, so we'll come down here to this next piece of rebar, which should still be towards the middle of the board. Now this one's only 3 courses tall right now. Oh yeah, we won't have to use another J-block because we're coming on up, so I'm glad you guys remembered that. Alright, now on this one, I'm going to leave it about halfway down this block, and I'm going to leave it kind of bumpy and lumpy so that the next bit of concrete will adhere to it. Alrighty, we'll just leave this sitting here. That's all she wrote. Alright, so with this last one, I got about 1.5 courses with that last little bit of concrete. So I'll just leave that just like that. And then this one, I left about 2.5 inches from the top of that block. So when we go over this with our next blocks, it can lock together. And I left it, you know, with indentions and bumps and stuff in it, just to adhere the concrete to each other a little bit more. And then here's these. So, I guess that's it. Cooly cool. Now it's time to go wash our tools off. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and wash my tub out and trowel and stuff. Like I said, I mean, for $5 I could probably just leave it just like that and you know, just replace it every little while, but I don't really see why I would. Just, it only takes just a minute to rinse it out. And $5 is $5, you know. Or at least that's how I see it. Whoa! That's no good. Alright, so there we have it. Ready for the next time. Alright, now it takes. Do it. I'll go with concrete doesn't work. I guess I'm reading wrong. Always awful. Just because. Okay. Now I need to put my sides back on. Got a bit of concrete on them too. And that's that. Now I'll go burn those bags, put my tools up. I'll just leave this bucket out here. I'll just go put it in the shed, but well, I guess that's it. That was kind of a fun change of pace for me anyway. Might do a little garden walkthrough and show how pitiful it is, but other than that, we'll catch you guys next time.